Hey, how's it going? In today's video, we have the high-end master model Blade Liger AB Bang version from Kotobukiya. This kit was released in December of 2009. Yeah, very old kit. I really don't look forward to reviewing it. And it's the first Zoid I ever built. Something I highly don't recommend as your first kit. I bought this ages ago, so I can't remember the exact price. But currently, the normal AB Blade Liger is going for $77.59 Canadian from HobbyLink Japan. Now, I built this kit like years ago, so I don't have the box art, but this is what it looks like. This was an exclusive anime kit, meaning unfortunately, they're no longer produced. Hence the name Bang, though it should actually be Van, but you know, mistranslation and whatnot. Van being the main Zoid's protagonist in Chaotic Century, and his Blade Liger appears in the second half of the series after it had evolved from the Shield Liger. With all that being said, let's get this started. Here's the high-end master model Blade Liger AB Bang version. This is a complete straight build, and it didn't come with any decals. Now, if you didn't know, there was a Blade Liger already released, and though it looks very similar, it does not have the attack boosters, these things here on the back, which acts as boosters and also cannons, depending on how you position it. And we'll take a look at that later on. Aside from the attack boosters, there's also a color difference from the normal Blade Liger. Unfortunately, I don't actually have the normal Blade Liger, so here's a picture to compare it with. In addition to being a special model, it also comes with a couple of painted miniatures. We got a pilot figure of Van and Fiona, as well as a miniature of Zeke and Zeke as a Zoid Core. We'll take a look at those later as well. Now back to the kit itself. As for build difficulty, it was actually very easy to build, despite me being a beginner at the time, so ignore the bad num marks, those were beginner mistakes. Though I found that this kit has two major flaws in its build. Firstly, we got these two cables that are attached to the neck, and they're actually supposed to go in these holes on the back. But unfortunately, it's very easy to dislodge those cables just by moving the neck. And once that happens, those cables just inhibit the movement here. The next major flaw I noticed was, like most older Zoids, fuck. Yeah, the kit has not held up very well over the past couple of years. The polycaps, especially in the legs, have gotten so stretched out you can't even see them in the socket anymore. So you can expect the legs to just fall right off. After I had finished this review, I actually resorted to using a lot of sticky tacks for the joints, as well as gluing a lot of pieces together. But I glued in specific ways where I could come back and paint the pieces in the future. Regardless, I highly recommend it. Appearance wise, it's absolutely beautiful, despite being a very old engineered model. I believe the appearance still stands the test of time, especially compared with the normal Shield Liger. I love the color contrast, white and blue always fits together really nicely. Though I would prefer that the yellow on the blades and the claws be replaced by maybe brass or gold, just not a fan of the yellow. Though, I love the metallic mechanical details that are on the legs. They stand out quite a bit from the black frame. And though it might be hard to see because of the dark colors of the kit, there's a lot of surface level detail which would greatly benefit from panel lining or a good paint job. Good looking kit, build quality sucks, so my critique and opinions on it might be a little harsh. Yes, it's an old kit, but I don't recommend it for beginners at all. Let's move on. We got articulation, and let's see if there's any moving gimmicks. Alrighty, starting with the head, it can move up and down this far, tilt up and down this much, side to side movement, easily beheading itself, making this a little easier. This part of the mane can move in and out, as can this larger piece up over here. This vent piece over here on top of the head could also move up and down, and the cockpit could open. The mouth can open this far, and this bottom vent part can also move. The Blade Liger has graciously helped out by dismembering its own body, making this part easier. Moving on to the forelimbs, we got the internal-external shoulder rotation, abduction of the arm, revealing the cool little mechanism with the pistons over here. 360 arm falls off. Like I was saying, we got a full 360 rotation. This vent here on the shoulder is able to rotate out this far. The white piece is also able to move in and out. Forelimb could bend this far and hyperextend this much. Ooh, kinda gross. And like I shown earlier, these are actual springs, so that's pretty neat. As for the paws, it could extend and bend this far, and the whole paw could rotate this much side to side. The white piece over here is also able to move up and down, and all the claws can move up and down independently. Coming to the body, we got a back extension and ab crunch. But because of the design of the kit, a lot of the pieces on the bottom actually clash into each other, restricting the movement here. I understand what they were trying to do, giving it more details at the bottom, but in practice, it's overly engineered and it doesn't work well. Though in contrast, I gotta say that the side bend is actually pretty good. Now on top of the body, there's this little canopy here that could be flipped all the way up, revealing this little mini arm with a booster on it. It's got several points of articulation, and the booster is kind of small for the body. And I gotta say that this whole component is one of the most annoying because it does tend to fall off quite a bit. Next up, let's take a look at this primary weapon, the laser blade and the attack boosters. It sits on an arm that allows it to rotate 90 degrees down, and unfortunately the arm attachment has gotten loose over the years. It can still hold up the whole weapon attachment, though sometimes when you're trying to flip it down, it has a tendency of still coming off. In the end, I just resorted to flipping the thing down and then attaching it then. Anyways, I'll just take mine off just to make it easier to see everything. The blades are able to extend very slightly, and it might be hard to see because of the light, but there's a good surface level detail on the blades itself. The blades are also able to 360 rotate. Moving on to the attack boosters, there's a small little arm that connects to it, allowing a small amount of articulation. And lastly, the attack boosters could also rotate very slightly. Now within the attack boosters, there's actually some cool gimmicks. You're able to slide this piece out, extending what appears to be a cannon. In addition, you can flip this up and actually pull out this part, which would be the boosters. So yeah, pretty cool gimmicks in the attack boosters. Now reattaching the hind legs, we got this much of an internal-external rotation, this much abduction, 360 rotate, okay, like I was saying, 360 rotation. Yeah, the joints here have gone so friggin' loose. Alright, I'm just gonna take this off right now. This part over here functions like the front legs. Fin can flip up and down, and it could retract in it and explode. Moving along, the knee here, yeah, that's the knee, could hyperextend this much and bend this far. And the ankle part could bend this much as well. And there goes the paw. Oh boy, this sure is fun. The paws function just like the forelimbs, up and down. White part can move up and down as well. Side to side swivel, and claws can move independently. And lastly, we come to the tail. It's very old school in design, made up of multiple segments which are already slightly curved. So there's no articulation here, it's mostly rotating of each segment if you want to position it in a certain way. And of course, the tail of all things is very tight. And yeah, that's the whole articulation. If not for all the parts falling off, it would actually be pretty good in terms of articulation. But of course, this isn't the case, which sucks because this kit could pull off a variety of very cool poses, whether you have the blades deployed, ready to attack. But alas, trying to keep it in that position, unless you're gonna glue it, put in sticky tacks, it's gonna be a rough time. Next up, we got extra accessories. I showed them off a little bit earlier, but here they are again. We got pretty decently painted pilot figures of Van and Fiona. Especially for Fiona, they even put those 2 dots on her forehead. And like I said earlier, these pilot figures are exclusive to this version of the Blade Liger. But that's not all, we also got a miniature of Zeke. It's actually very well painted, and for something so small it has a lot of detail. You're also able to move the legs slightly, but I feel like I'll break mine, so I'd rather not. And lastly, instead of a typical Zoid core, we got Zeke as a Zoid core. Same thing, well painted and very well detailed. That's it for extra and accessories. I also want to add that because it's a very old kit, it doesn't actually have an action-based adapter hole or peg, though you can make your own little attachment for it. Using this pronged adapter over here, which actually comes with the action-based one, you can slide it right underneath here under the belly of the Liger, and get yourself an action base. I'm using the action base one from Bandai, not included of course. And yeah, you could use it as an action base for this kit, despite not having a peg for it. Ta-da! And it's stable enough that you don't really have to worry about the kit, so long as you don't touch it. Now of course, we gotta do the shake test. Ugh. Oh, I don't look forward to it. Yep, that's what you can expect from this kit. Just joint degradation. Like I said earlier, the polycaps are pretty much fried. They're gone. they're stretched out. So if you want to, glue what you can and put a glob of sticky tack right into the joints. It does help a lot. Now, if you're wondering, for length, it's around 13 inches or 33 centimeters. As for height, with the tail positioned at the highest point, it's 8.5 inches or 21.59 centimeters, give or take. Now, as for size comparison, starting with the entry grade X782, master grade X782, and here it is next to the Zoid's high-end master model Schneider that I just reviewed, and you can see that the Blade Liger is a tad bit bigger. Then we got the Figuarts standard Magnamon, Doraemon, Haro, DK, the new Blade Liger from Takara Tomy, an apple, a mango, a plum, and a big old watermelon. And as for shelf presence, with the blades extended, it kind of has to have its own little section, taking up quite a bit of real estate, but it is a Zoid, so it has pretty good shelf presence. And we're done with the video. So pretty much what are my final thoughts? The Blade Liger is an impressive looking kit, and even though it's not too difficult of a kit to build, the build quality has definitely deteriorated over time. I'm not sure if the newer Blade Liger suffers from this, but seeing as how the parts are exactly the same, I don't have much confidence in that one either. But if you plan on just leaving the kit as is and never touching it, or if you absolutely love the design and just have to have it, go ahead, pick it up. But later on down the line, you might need some sticky tacks in those joints. Hey, thanks for watching my video. I hope you like it. I enjoy making it. Let me know what you think. I really want to like this kit, but the looseness is just so infuriating. But alternatively, I do have the 40th anniversary Blade Liger from Takara Tomy, and that kit looks quite promising. So be sure to check back in the future for that review. Thanks for watching, take care, bye!